Welcome to the show, Mind Blend. I'm your host, Karen Chong, and I'll be diving into the minds of incredible people, each an expert in their very own way. Together, we'll uncover insights and share ideas so you can be inspired and empowered to navigate your own unique journey in life. Ready to get curious and discover what's possible? Let's blend. So, at the time of this recording is the month of March, and we probably all know that is the International Women's Day in March. And I like to celebrate things, not just a day. I like to celebrate the whole month. So, today I have a very, very special guest that's just perfect for this purpose. She is joining me from Montreal. I have Urmi Hossain with me. Hi, Urmi.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So Urmi is basically a living and breathing example of what Mind Blend stands for. And she has done a lot of amazing work supporting women in her circle or maybe even around the world. So Urmi, can you tell us more about your fascinating background?
Yes, it would be my pleasure. So, my name is Urmi, and like you mentioned, I'm based in Montreal. I consider myself a woman who wears many hats. I am Italian by birth, Bengali by blood. I am a self-published author, speaker, blogger, mentor, and a big advocate of women's empowerment. I am currently part of two organizations. The first one is called Women in Leadership, and the second one is called Femme Influence, where I serve respectively as the social media lead and the campaign manager. And in my day-to-day job, I am just a corporate girl who works in the financial sector.
I wouldn't say just.
I guess.
When I met Urmi, I was like, wow, you have lived in many countries, you speak multiple languages, and you have a lot of work that you have put out there, speaking, blogs, articles. So I understand that you're someone who's very passionate about spreading awareness, spreading messages, trying to help the people around you. And you also have this philosophy of just continuing to learn, right?
Mhm. Yes.
I'm sure with our lives, everyone is very, very busy. And it's hard to keep up with the attitude of, oh, I gotta keep learning. Sometimes you just kind of fall back and just be comfortable. So I wanted to kind of hear from you how you can stay motivated to keep learning.
Um, I don't know. It's very easy for me when it comes to learning. Like I see it as an effortless action. I like to embrace this whole concept about being a lifelong learner, no matter what I do. And no matter what I go, I don't think that, I always say, I don't think learning ends in a classroom. Like, just because you have graduated, it doesn't mean that you stop learning. I think learning can come in different shapes and different forms. You can learn from books as much as you can learn from, courses, from podcasts, from YouTube, by trying something new, doing some, trying different recipes. And I think when you are a lifelong learner, it just makes your, life much more interesting and much more dynamic and fun. So for me, really, like learning was always very easy. Like I always look forward to learn something new. I think it's a very enriching feeling and you feel so much more knowledgeable. And I think there's nothing, better than that. You can buy a lot of things, but you cannot, buy skills or knowledge. Or you buy the courses and these are the things that you learn, they just stay within you and you can share it with
Hmm.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah. And a friend of mine, just a couple of days ago, coincidentally, she's Italian. And then she said her grandma has a phrase that goes loosely translate to people die with their hands open. What it means by it's that when you die, like materials, you don't bring any materials with you when you
Hmm.
die. And yes,
Hmm.
like this is so important to live like a really rich life. And with your lifetime learning commitment to doing that, and also you don't keep it to yourself. Like you try to spread your learning to empower
Yes.
people. And I want to
Yes.
ask you more about that. How did you
Yes.
get started? Tell me everything. How did you get started? Why? Because you mentioned mentoring in the
Yes.
beginning in your intro. So tell me more about that.
Yes. Basically, how it started with the whole mentoring journey, let me tell you this. Before I moved to Canada, I had no clue what the word mentor meant. And
Mm-hmm.
then what happened is I started to go to university, and there was this part-time job where they were looking for a student success mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine used to work as that. And then he's like, "Oh, there is a vacancy. Do you want to apply for this job?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? I need like a part-time job. I need something for my curriculum." And I wasn't like aware what the word mentor meant. So I go to the interview, I go through it. They're asking you, like the standard interview questions, and then they're like, okay, we will let you know afterwards about if you get hired. And then after a couple of weeks, like a couple of weeks after, they called me and they told me that I got the job, and that's where they explained me what the word like the role mentor means, which is really
Mm-hmm.
to be a point of reference for people that they're pursuing. In this case, for my case, I was a mentor for finance, and so they told me that you will be the point of reference for people who have questions about how to do well in finance, how they can pass their exams. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. So that's how like this word mentoring came into my mind. But then
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, what happened is fast forward couple of years later, like I was no longer, a mentor. I was no longer in university. This word mentoring just came showing up in my life. And so I saw this as like a sign from the universe. I was like, oh,
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe this means something. And then what happened is I was like, okay, I want to give back to the community, and I want to give back through mentoring, which was, something that has shaped me, which now has become part of my identity.
Mm-hmm.
And so then what happened is like I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if there are like mentoring opportunities, but more specifically female mentorship. I'm more inclined to mentor women and young talents who want to pursue a career in finance or maybe build a career in general. And that's how it all started. It just started from this one part-time job, and now the role like this word is just part of my identity.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That is fate and luck and probably just how
Hmm.
your aura exudes. So the person who interviewed you was probably like, yeah, this is your personality and the way you communicate is probably exactly what we need for students. This shows like, yes, you don't know what mentor mean, but you went for it anyway. So
Yes.
sometimes you really just need to take that leap of faith. And in this case, you went into the mentoring field without you really knowing a whole lot.
Exactly. And then I didn't think it would have been part of me after all these years. It's been more than 10 years, from my first
Mm-hmm.
part-time job. Um, but now I do like present myself as a mentor. I think there's a lot of value that you can get. And I think anyone should find a mentor. Like I think anyone needs a mentor throughout their lifetime. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
just a one-time thing. You always need guidance. You always need, someone to give you advice, suggestions, to share tips, to share their knowledge. I think it's a valuable role.
Mm-hmm. So what do you enjoy most about mentoring right now?
It's really about the connections. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's there is a human connection that comes with it. And a lot of the people that I have mentored are females, so are women. So it's I see it more like a two-way street. Like you learn as much as you learn from your mentee as much as they learn from you as a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is a two-way learning from it. It's not just you teaching your mentee. Like you learn also from the experiences of the mentee. And I think we always used to think that the role mentor it was just for someone with a certain like job title, but I think anyone can be a mentor. It's not just because I'm the CEO of a company and I'm just a junior, I cannot be a mentor. You know what I mean? Like anyone can be a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are like long-term relationships that can develop from mentoring. And a lot of the people that I have mentored, I still talk to them. We still catch up. Some people
Mm-hmm.
decide to stay, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the meaningful connection that you create. That it's I think it's the beauty of mentoring.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned? Can you remember anything that you learned from your mentees?
I learned a lot of things, but the this girl that I mentored for like 6 months, I still talk to her, and she's like in her 20s. And one thing that I have learned from her is persistence,
Mm.
because she's very determined to like, well, she was very determined to finding like a job, and now she eventually found it. And the thing that I always admired was her willingness to never want to give up. And I also taught her never to give up. And she has been persistent since the beginning, and now she finally got her like internship. So that was one thing that I have learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very important. It's with the world moving so fast, it's really easy to be distracted. You run out of energy.
Yeah.
We generally can't focus on the same thing for as long anymore. And yeah, I've heard stories like someone tried to either get into a company or I forgot what exactly it was, but she tried 6 times.
Yeah. That
Somewhat
shows
nicer.
determination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
And given that you have been to so many different environments, I'm sure there are situations where you have no idea what you're getting into. For example, you had no idea what mentoring is, and or when
Yes.
you went to university or moved to a different country. So, how did you navigate that uncertainty?
I like to navigate the unknown. I like that
Mm.
surprise factor.
Hmm.
And I was actually like telling this today to someone else. There is a quotation, if you don't mind, I can read it to you, which
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
explains exactly my way of doing. So basically, the quotation says, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek."
Yes.
I don't know if you know
Yes.
this one. It's from I think Joseph Campbell, I think, if
Hmm.
I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken.
Hmm.
And that's how I approach everything.
Hmm.
It's dark in the cave, but I think once you go through that, there is a light at the end of this cave. There is a treasure waiting for you. And that's how it has been for me. Like the whole thing with mentoring, I had no clue what I was going through, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, I just need some money and I'm gonna take the job. But I didn't realize that after so many years it was going to come back to me. Same thing with moving to Canada. It was also like the unknown, because I knew nothing about Canada. Zero,
Zero.
zero,
Okay.
zero,
Uh-huh.
zero. The same thing when I go and try different things. Like I started to do boxing a couple of years ago, and I had no clue. I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go and try out and see if I like it. But it was always like a nice discovery. It
Hmm.
was always a nice discovery, and I feel like they always brought me a bit closer to my real self, and also brought me closer to achieving, my fullest potential. And so I got a lot of confidence by trying all these different things, and I got a lot of growth. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting angle. Overcoming the fear of the unknown, helping you be more confident? Is it because you found that you were able to overcome those things? Like, how did you build confidence over time? Or you just got more comfortable with the unknown, maybe?
And no, I always saw the unknown and the fear and the fact that I was feeling uncomfortable as an answer.
Mm,
And so every time I felt like, okay, I'm not comfortable with certain things, I was like, you know what? I probably should go forward and do this. And so I never like walked away or backed away from something, like was always embracing the unknown and
mm,
going through that and through it to make sure that I completely overcame that. I think a lot of the times what happened is people just give up, or they don't want to go through something because they're scared. But me, I like to go till the end. Like if I start something, I like to go till the end to
mm,
get my answers. And the answers could be yes or no, depending on what you try. But I do like to go through the end. So that's how I tackle, the uncomfortable part.
Yeah, and you're in finance, so you kind of the bigger the risk, the bigger the return as well. Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
it's really hard because we have comfort zones. It's hard to push through the comfort zone. And yeah, but it keeps things interesting, I think. Otherwise, everything is just
Boring.
exactly the way you expect it. It may
Exactly.
be the way of life that some people choose, but like I think I'm very much in the same boat. Maybe a little less than you, but I welcome the unknown. I don't shy away from ambiguity, I think. I would like to be able to just overcome them because I think I'll learn more. Like going back to the learning theme, I'll learn more from
Yes.
overcoming unknowns rather than
Eh,
just walking a flat path.
That's right. And
Hmm.
I feel like the unknown is always associated with the word uncertainty and
Hmm.
fear. And
Hmm.
there's this book that I have read, which was called Fear, My Dear Friend, something along those lines. Like
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
remember now the exact title of the book, but
Hmm.
it was such a beautiful book because it just explains you the concept of fear and how we see it. And
Hmm.
sometimes fear is associated with negative things, right? Like negative
Hmm.
outcome, uncertainty, the fact of feeling uncomfortable. But the
Yeah.
main goal, the main message of the book was that you have to see fear as your ally.
Hmm.
So as and see it as your friend. Like if you fear something, it's probably telling you that something good is meant to happen. And so
Hmm.
that's how I started to see fear. Like it
Hmm.
changed my perspective. And so now everything I do, yes, maybe I might feel, a bit fearful, but I see it as a good sign. I see it as a friend who's willing to help me. That's
Ah,
how I see
wow.
it. Yeah.
That's a very good advice slash trick for all of us who
Yeah.
have different things that we fear. And so you share your beliefs and you share your insights with articles, or you have your own YouTube channel. And not everyone is comfortable with doing things like that. So I wanted to hear a little bit more from you. If someone is has a fear of, for example, public speaking,
Hmm.
what's a good what are the baby steps that you would suggest?
So you're asking someone who's been part of Toastmasters. I don't know if you're
Mm,
familiar with
yes,
Toastmasters.
I haven't been there myself, but yes.
So that would be my advice. That would be the baby step that I
Oh,
think people
really?
should start. Yes. Why do I tell you that? It's because that's how I started. I
Hmm.
actually started at Toastmasters, and the beauty of the Toastmasters Club is that you can attend as many clubs as you want and find the one that is fit for you. And all
Ah.
the Toastmasters Club, like every
Hmm.
single city, every single area of your city has a club.
Hmm.
Some members of the club, some clubs have like 20 people, some others have 40, some others have only 10. And
Hmm.
depending on what you're comfortable with, you can choose the side. Like you can choose which club you want to join. So if you want to
Hmm.
start small, let's say maybe you're not comfortable being in a club that has 40 people, you can be in a club that has 10 people, and you can start just just by doing attending this meeting. And you don't necessarily have to like give speeches, you can just watch and observe. And as soon as you feel comfortable and you decide to become a member, that's how you start taking on those little steps. There are like small steps that you can there are small speeches that you can give that are like 1 minute long.
Uh,
As soon
uh,
as you're comfortable with those one, then you can move on like 5 minute speeches. And the beauty of those masters is that they have a program called the pathway programs that
hmm.
basically has a list of projects or list of speeches that you have to give, and they give you the objective, how long it has to be, what you have to talk about, how you have to structure it. So you have guidance from there. But I would say that's a good place to learn because it's a peer-to-peer type of learning. Like you learn by observing and you learn through the feedback, and
Hmm.
people are always like encouraging,
Hmm.
new members, encouraging, like they're always uplifting you because we all went through the same fear, when it comes to
Yeah.
public speaking. So that would be my advice.
Hmm. And by the way, the show is not sponsored by Toastmaster. So are there different levels? So someone is more advanced or they get separated into different levels.
No, so yes, I mean, in a sense, yes, you have people from different levels, and you will
Mm-hmm.
see it as when they speak, you will see that there is someone who has a bit more experience. It's a bit better when it comes to, they are better equipped when it comes to communicating, and they have,
Mm-hmm.
better communication skills. And you have people that are less experienced, and we're all put in the same group because the job is really to learn from the experienced one.
Mm,
And so
okay.
that's how it works. So there are like 5 levels. So if you have just joined, you will be in level 1. And you
Mm-hmm.
start with an icebreaker where you just have to present yourself. And typically
Mm-hmm.
you'll be evaluated by someone who has been, let's say, a Toastmaster for like the past 5 years, and it's a level 3 or level 5 speaker. So that's how it usually works. It's pretty much mixed.
Mm-hmm. I see. And I think the key here is probably the encouragement, because when we fear public speaking, it's because we fear the audience. Like we fear that people tune
Yes.
out or they criticize. So how do you make sure your message resonate with the audience? I know Toastmaster, you probably is a practice speech, but you probably have given real speeches.
Yes. If you want people to resonate with you, it's always about storytelling.
Mm,
That's a key message. I'm pretty sure everyone heard about storytelling at least once in their lifetime.
mm-hmm,
But stories are really what makes stories what make people very relatable. Like you have a
mm-hmm,
true lived experience and you're sharing it, and
yeah.
most likely you will have someone else feeling the same way. And I think
Mm-hmm,
sure stories evoke emotions, they evoke, different experiences, lived experiences, and you have always learned lessons from a story. So
mm-hmm,
if you are sharing a story, I think chances are people would really enjoy listening to you.
mm-hmm.
We all love a good story, so it's all about having a good storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that I've been increasingly hearing
Yes.
in various fields,
Yes.
sales pitches, or even company presentations.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
it's
everything
definitely a,
has a story. Like
yeah.
like you starting this podcast probably has a story behind.
Yeah. So about storytelling, if you think back on before Toastmasters, before any of your current experience and compare it to now, like how would you say, if you were to describe yourself back then as a storyteller and now, how is it different?
Let me tell you this. Back then, I was never sharing a story.
Never.
Never, never. Because no one
Okay.
ever told me. At school, they
Uh-huh.
don't teach you about like public speaking. They make you do presentation, but no one teaches you about public speaking. So you're not even sure how to deliver a speech. And
Mm-hmm.
so I remember, oh my gosh, like I remember when I used to give speeches during my classes, it was always about sharing, statistics, facts, and
Mm,
I remember, like, if I think about myself, like back then, I was like, oh my gosh, the presentation must have been really boring because like listening to numbers, statistics is pretty boring. Um, and I feel like it's also much harder to present facts and information, like statistical information, because you have to memorize the numbers. Like you cannot get something wrong if it's a fact, right?
yeah.
But when it comes to storytelling, I think it's so much easier to implement in a
Mm-hmm.
speech. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really more about yourself, and who knows yourself better than yourself?
Mm-hmm.
No one else. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's so much easier to incorporate it in a speech. I
Mm-hmm.
can start telling you, oh yeah, I created this company, and I want to tell you why. So we go back in 19, I don't know, 1990s, and this is how my story started. Like I feel like there is a nice flow to it, and
Mm-hmm.
people are much more engaged instead of listening to numbers and statistics, so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like stories are much easier to incorporate. Um, but definitely many years ago, I was not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah, things that you don't learn at school. At least when I was going to school, I don't think it's very academic when I was going to school.
that's right.
And
It's very academic. Yes,
yeah. All right. So what are you curious about right now? Because you're always curious in learning.
I am. I am. I am always very, very curious and I'm always very intrigued.
Hmm.
Um, and also it's a tough question because I feel like I'm curious about everything.
Or is there
Everything.
something that you're trying to learn right now?
I'm always learning. So even
Hmm.
that, even that. I well, I am currently taking a course about personal branding, but it's not something unfamiliar to me. It's something that I'm deepening my knowledge about.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's something that I very much enjoy. I'm also like taking Spanish classes because that's also another thing that I enjoy. It's learning languages and learning
Yeah.
about different cultures.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm always reading books. So I'm always
Hmm.
reading book. If there's something that, you know, I'm curious about, I just go ahead and buy it. And I actually recently bought this book, which is about, I want to tell you, it's about the power of ancient wellness. And it talks
Ancient
about
wellness. Okay.
ancient wellness and it talks
Uh-huh.
about traditional remedies and activities for modern living. So it tells you about, why you should eat, let's say, chia seeds, or it
Hmm.
tells you like why is it good to eat turmeric, those things. So I was like, okay, you know what? I don't know too much about it. Let me figure it out. So I bought the book. So usually when I see something interesting, I just go ahead and buy it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fascinating. It's you never know what's you it's like turning rocks. You don't know what's behind underneath the rock.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not curious, you're just gonna walk straight past it. And I recently took a I was having a one-on-one with my boss, and then he suggested, why don't we go to a park? And I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. And then we were walking in the park. We talked about what we needed to talk about, but then we started looking at the blooming flowers and it just gives you a different perspective. Like
That's
you
right.
need to talk about the things you need to, the business agenda, but then it kind of just opens up your mind. And I recently have been trying to enjoy when it's sunny because I'm in London
Yes.
now. It's not always sunny, but there are days that are sunny. Last week it was beautiful. And I try to enjoy nature a little bit more.
Yes, I do the same thing, I don't know if you can see from the screen that we have a little bit of sun for once.
I can tell, yeah.
And we had, oh my gosh, like the winters in Montreal, we had months of like dark days, cold days, and we
Hmm.
had also snow. And after a couple of months, you're like sick and tired of wearing the snow boots. And so now we
Yeah.
finally have some, it's 5 degrees, but we're happy with the 5 degrees compared to the minus 20 that we
Negative.
usually have.
Yes.
And I'm also very much like that in the sense that as soon as there is a little bit of sunshine, it's relatively hot, like I go and take a run. I think it just opens up your mind, it freshens your mind. So it's nice to do that. You take you take a different perspective, like you said.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I visited Montreal 2 years, maybe 3 years ago. It was September, and
Oh,
I really loved it. I thought, yes, I can try living here. And then I realized, maybe not. Maybe, maybe I don't know about the winter, but maybe I can visit in the winter to try to overcome this fear of
uh,
cold environments.
I want to escape the winter here, but I should not complain. We have shorter winters and less colder winters because of the global warming, which is not something that I should be proud of, but at least we have shorter winters.
Hmm. Yeah, and you
Yeah,
gotta just embrace what you have. Like,
that's it.
can't always just complain about the cold because it's not gonna change
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. But it does not stop me from getting my walk, for instance. Like I do many walks even in the winter. Like
Hmm.
I don't let the snow or the cold weather stop me. I just wear a bunch of layers.
Hmm. Yeah, just wear the right clothes.
Yes.
So, if you were to sum up your philosophy of life, what would that be?
Well, I don't know if you've read it somewhere, but I it's like everywhere on my social media.
Hmm.
It's a quotation by Gandhi that says, "Be the change you want to see in the world."
Yeah, I
And I
remember reading that.
And I totally embrace that. Like, I
Hmm.
think that if you want to see the change, you have to start with the change and you have to. take action. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
if there's something that I don't like and I keep complaining about it, it's not good. But if I take actions about it, then maybe there's going to be a change. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And would you say that's one of your motivation to empower women?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Also, yes.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show. You are so much of what we need more of in
Thank
today's
you.
world. And I really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope our listeners have taken a few notes themselves to apply to their own life, overcome fear, live a fuller life.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Urmi. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mind Blend. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to follow and leave a comment. And let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on LinkedIn at Karen K. Chong. That's KarenKchong. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and let's continue to blend our minds and discover what's possible.